Tournament. And this is a special place that we are. It's a place where we get to be a fly on the wall in the life of someone special. We get to meddle in the business of their life without being too formal, right? Yeah, we're just a fly on the wall in their home, in their house, and we want to know them outside the office walls. And today, we have someone powerful. Wait, before I introduce the lady I have in the studio today, I want to encourage you to go to our Star FM Facebook, which is Star FM Zimbabwe. We are live on Facebook, and we are doing Fly on the Wall. Let me say hello to one or two people as I encourage you to jump on to our Facebook Live and let your friends know it's an inspirational moment. Listen to this story, and you might reconsider quitting if you were on the verge of it.
How's everybody feeling?
Welcome!
Sunday settings on Star FM. The way a Sunday should be.
So let me say hello, good afternoon to Natasha Kupara, Nati K. Why did you have to do that? Nati says Nunzi Bamaziro. Yeah, I know that means fly on the wall, but why did you have to do that? It sounds different. It sounds different. Sounds slightly somewhat ridiculous. Nunzi Pamaziro. Fly on the wall. Fly on the wall would do. Let's stick to fly on the wall. Victor Meredz in Woodlands, Phase 1 Gweru. How are you? Thank you for being here. I appreciate you, Clever Mungoyo. Boss Muramba, my guy. Caroline, how are you in Domboshava? Tekla Moromo in Mfakose, I appreciate you too. Thank you very much for being here. Vachuoro, Grace, how are you? Nyatsenzekwa, munofarere. Bamninu inyika yese in Chi-Town. Sire same as Baba Enoch, by Enoch Groceries. I see you, Amai Kiki as well. Let's do this together, you and I. Listen carefully. Find some inspiration. Be motivated. You need to hear this conversation that I'm having.
Today, we're a fly on the wall in the life of.
Today we are a fly on the wall in the life of Kituu Zawanda. Kituu Zawanda is a corporate lawyer, currently serving at the Deposit Protection Corporation as its corporate secretary and legal services director. I'm talking to someone with a career spanning 2 decades, having honed her career as a corporate governor. In the corporate governance space and corporate law. She has mastered the expertise, and she has served on numerous boards in the public and private sector. Such boards as Zimpost Properties, such boards as Budget Health Medical Aid Society. Right now, as I speak, she is currently sitting on the board of a listed FMCG company and is a commissioner at the Forestry Commission, adding to her notable governance assignments. Having once been appointed as the youngest CEO of a state entity in Zimbabwe at the age of 28, she strives to leave a compelling legacy and example for her 3 beautiful daughters, of which one is celebrating her birthday today. Do you want me to sing for her, Kituu?
I'd love that very much.
All right, let me try. Okay, you tell me, you rate it from a scale of 0 up to 10 and tell me how this sounds. Will she like it? Because I know she sings, right?
Yes,
so
she does.
Tell me if she will like this. Happy birthday to you.
Okay.
Happy birthday to you.
Okay.
Happy birthday.
Well done.
Thank you. I'm going to the studio tomorrow. Hello, Kituu.
Hi, Aaron. How are you?
I am well. How are you?
Mhm.
Ndinofara chaiko. I thank you so much for joining us. I thank you so much for saying yes to my request for you to be in the studio today so that we can be a fly on your walls.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate the invitation every time you invite me over.
This is home to you. I was telling you that backstage. I'm like, okay, this is now just home to you.
Yeah.
So today, we are stepping away from the boardrooms. We're stepping away from the headlines. We want to get a glimpse into the story behind all these titles.
Yes.
Yeah. We want to speak to the dreamer. We want to speak to the fighter. We want to speak to the woman. We want to speak to Kituu. Yeah, we want to speak to you. So the first thing that I'm going to ask you is, if we were going to be an actual fly, right now we are a fly on your walls, but if
Yeah.
we're going to be an actual
Yeah.
fly on your walls, and it's a Sunday morning, it's now afternoon, but if it were Sunday morning, we're in your house, zzz, we are on your walls. What would we find you doing?
All right, Sunday morning is my cleaning day.
Okay.
Yes, so I
Okay.
wake up early in the morning, and early for me on Sunday is about 8:30 or 9, and I'll thoroughly clean the house. I start with the lounge, clean the lounge, change probably the cushions in the lounge, and vacuum the carpets and clean the floors, change some decor pieces around. I'm a neat freak, and I love doing it myself. And probably the cleaning will spill into the kitchen. That's me taking down everything from the cupboards and cleaning the cupboards, putting things back and changing their order and so forth. Yes, Sunday is a very busy day for me. I've tried to learn not to be like that. I've tried to learn to rest, but it doesn't look like I'm succeeding in that. Sunday is also another day that I take care of a lot of self-care. I'll probably do a lot of my own personal hygiene, personal care to make sure that the week comes, I've cleaned my hair, I've thoroughly prepared for the week as well, choose my outfits for the week and so forth. So Sunday is more hectic than it has to be. And around 11 or 12, I'll probably go out and do our groceries for the week, our fresh produce and so forth. So yeah, someone needs to teach me, someone needs to probably comment in the comment section, how do you decompress on a Sunday? I failed to do that, and there's no reason for me to be like that, but that's just how I relax.
Here is a request coming in from Kituu. If you're listening to Star FM right now, please help a sister to know how to declutter, to just take it easy on a Sunday. She should be easy like a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
But, well, I'll tell you, you remind me of the woman I loved the most in my life, my grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah, may her soul rest in peace. She died a long time ago. But she was also somewhat a neat freak. Vaizoipa excuse yekuti aro ndakashanda kumayadi nini. But she would see a speck of dust. Vaiswera vachiclean the whole day because every little thing vai make sure kuti ayo chabviswa pachena.
Absolutely. That's all she knew. That's how she relaxed actually.
So I mean, you remind me of her so much. So let's get back to your early days. Let's get back to your early life. Because you were not born like this. Although it's difficult to imagine you as a little girl.
Okay.
I mean, you carry so much aura around you. You feel like you were born like this.
No, thank you.
You feel like you were born in power.
I appreciate that.
So, help us to see you as a little Kituu. What kind of a little girl were you? Were you shy? Were you curious? Were you bossy? Were you an observant girl? What kind of girl were you?
Okay, maybe just a brief background about me. Kituu is short for Kitumetsi. Kitumetsi is a Sotho name.
Okay.
I come from the south of Zimbabwe. Kitumetsi means ndafara, or I'm happy. Apparently my dad was very happy. I'm the firstborn in our family.
Beautiful.
Born to civil servants, then a soldier and a teacher. So we had a basic life, a good life. My parents provided us with a basic life. We lacked nothing, although we're not wealthy. But what I remember about my growing up is that I was very close to my mom. Everywhere she was, I would be there too. I remember on payday, civil service payday, would go into town together and would go to the bank and queue and get the money. And that's when I'd get a Cornish pastry, commonly known as a meat pie, and a Coke. And the Coke would come out through my nose. But I'll deal with that thing. Yes. And then I was always with my mom. And I remember she used to do charts. You know how teachers do those charts for their classroom. So then after the bank would then go and pay her bills. That would be Edgar's, Zesa, the water bill and so forth. Then we go into downtown Bulawayo, where we would be asking for boxes from the Indian shops that sold shirts. So we'd use those shirt boxes to make charts. So I enjoyed carrying those for her. So because I spent so much time with her, I gained confidence to come into town on my own. So when I got a bit bigger, maybe grade 5, 6, 7, I would come into town to do the payment of the bills on my own. So I've always been brave. I think that's where the bravery came from. I've always been close to my mother. And thank goodness he's still alive or still close today. So I think, and academically, I've always been competitive. I didn't understand how someone got first position when I couldn't get first position. So it'd always be a tie, or I'd be second or somewhere there. It embarrassed me not to be first place. So I think a lot of what's happening in my life comes from my upbringing and how I just grew up very competitive.
Quite a childhood.
Thank you.
Quite a childhood. So let's get back a little bit to Kituu the Knit Freak. There's a message here. So Chunwarid says, so if we were actual flies in your house, we would be hosting this conversation now. We'd be dead by now.
Oh, God.
Yeah, you would have swatted us all.
Oh,
we would have been
goodness.
dead by
Yes.
now. But well, coming back to where we are now, you spoke fondly of your mom.
Yes.
And how you guys would always be together. Besides your mom, is there anyone else, or would we say it's just your mom who shaped your worldview? Someone whom you took after? Is there anyone else you looked up to more than your mom, or is it just your mom?
I think I held my father in equal high regard. My dad was a military man, and within the military, he worked in the social services department, social welfare department of the military. So he was an office employee. He always held some sort of position in the administrative side of the military. And my dad was so motivated to become, he always used to say, one day I'm going to be a director. I didn't know what a director was at the time, but he knew that his calling was outside the military. So he then got out of the military, and then he became the director of housing and community services in the Gwanda municipality.
Beautiful.
My dad is an academic, an academic, God rest his soul. He loved knowledge. My dad died with about 4 degrees, and he was working on his PhD and master's degrees as well. So my dad was the parent who pushed academically. He was a stricter parent when it came to academics. He didn't have to do too much, however, because we were intelligent children ourselves. But my dad never understood how you came second place. So it was very important for him to come first. And you'd come back from school with a pass mark of 88%, and you'd be like, "Cool, the other 12%, that's what I got." So now you had a challenge. You're like, okay, next time I need to bring all 100%. So that guided our worldview, that success for us at that time was academics. That is the only way you're going to get out of, get the life of your dreams if you are. And I also wanted an office job, and he always used to make it known to me that if you want an office job, you're going to get the results. You need to get it academically. So that was my training as a child. So my parents both influenced my life and my decisions to where I am today.
Well, I'm glad you had such lovely parents
Thank you.
to give you such an upbringing. Have you ever watched Three Idiots, the movie, the Bollywood film?
No, I haven't. I don't really watch Bollywood.
You need to watch
Okay, I
Three
will.
Idiots.
I will. I'll
It's
look
a
for it.
recommendation from me.
Thank you. I'll do that tonight.
From your father on radio. Go watch Three Idiots.
Absolutely.
So on Three Idiots, there is a guy more or less like your dad. He's not in the military.
Okay.
He's the head of an engineering college.
All right.
They call him Virus. He's called Viru. But Virus does something. It's Indian. I can't pronounce it properly. But they shorten it to Virus.
I see.
Yeah, the students in the school. And he always believed everybody had to come first. He spoke with a lisp.
That's my dad. That's my
Everybody
dad.
had to come first. That was Viru. So, I mean, when you told me about your dad, you reminded me so much of that film. Yeah. So, let's get to picture something here. With everything you told me, the picture that's in my mind right now is of a young Kituu, a young girl, who is growing up to believe one way or the other she has to lead. Did you always see yourself as a leader in the leadership role, or was it something that you felt like I'm being directed towards by my parents? Is it something that you were being directed towards, or is it something that you also just wished for yourself to say, I have to lead, I want to be in leadership roles, I want to be in this position? Or how did that come about?
It's intrinsic. It's intrinsic. It's something that I've always known of myself. I was always a class monitor.
Oh.
I was always a class monitor before
Yeah.
I could be a prefect.
Yeah.
Then from there, I was always in group 1.
Mm.
I was always in group 1 class monitor, became the head girl. I've been head girl and prefect or such role, captain of this, vice captain of that, all my life. So I think leadership is something that is innate in me. And it then I just had to accentuate it with everything else, including the academic achievements that only I could attain myself. So I have always known that I was going to be a leader. I've always aspired to be one. There are some times in my life, as I'll share as we continue having this conversation, where it wasn't so apparent to me anymore if I was going to be a leader
Or not.
or not. But then I think at the back of my mind, I've always affirmed, you speaking of affirmations,
Yes.
that leadership is my portion. So that's what I thrive better in a leadership position. Of course, I allow myself to be led. That's life.
Yeah, that's life.
And I work
Indeed.
very well with those who lead me as well. So it's always been a part of my upbringing and my future, my destiny.
So, in the light of leading, let me, just in this moment, I know you don't like it too much for me to call you by these titles and stuff. Yeah, I remember that text like, "Hi, I'm Kituu, please drop this." And I'm like, okay, it's okay, sis. But I enjoy doing that, you see. I enjoy sometimes
Go for
reminding myself that I'm surrounded by important people.
Thank you. Go for it.
So, instead of using commissioner, in this moment, I want to use my boss. Why? Because you played a defining role in 2 of our sister stations.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's something amazing. I didn't know about that. So knowing about that, I'm like, wow, girl is a genius.
Thank you.
So you helped lead Kingston's through a bold transformation.
Yes.
We used to know it as that green logoed bookstore.
Yes.
Yeah, from the olden days. But you were there when they transformed from just a bookstore to broadcasting.
Yes.
That's something that I don't think you would find in a textbook. I don't think it's something you'd find written in a manual somewhere to say, how do you transform a bookstore into a broadcasting entity? Tell me, Kituu, what was the push? What pushed you to take that leap?
Thank you for even reminding me of that part of my history.
Yes.
And I always forget about some of the amazing things that have happened in my time, you know. So what happened was I became the CEO of Kingston's when I was 28 years old. And at that time, we just came out of severe economic hardships in Zimbabwe. And Kingston's was on its knees, and something had to give. There was nothing coming from the shareholder, and by the way, Kingston's is 100% government owned. It's owned through the Ministry of Information. So my job when I came to Kingston's, I was a lawyer. I was just a lawyer, didn't know much. I was just a girl.
She's
So
just a girl.
when I first got into Kingston's, I was just the corporate secretary, and then I became the CEO sometime after that. And my assignment from the board was to find a way of trading Kingston's out of its problems with very little to no shareholder equity injection. So I had to think of a way out of it. And luckily, the board and the shareholders were also clear that probably, let's just be agile and plan for the future. This hard copy book model is going to go away in not less than 2 decades, because now everything about the education system is moving to the digital platform. So we realize that the brand itself or the model itself did not have much time left. So what then we did is the decision was to transform Kingston's into a broadcasting entity, which then around that time there was a bit of a liberalization of the airwaves. And there was an opportunity for anybody in Zimbabwe to apply for localized radio broadcasting licenses. So we aimed for Kariba and Harare. And we got into the exercise of now making the application. It's a voluminous application, Aaron. It's about almost 300-page long application, because you need to show the Broadcasting Authority of Zimbabwe that they need to be very convinced of what you want to use the license for. So you actually need to have a programming plan for I think a period of a year.
Quite voluminous.
And you have to account for every minute. You know, this business is you're making money from, you're selling time for business. So you need to account for every minute to say there's going to be an advert here, there's going to be a commercial here, and so forth. So we had to come up with that broadcasting plan. Had to come up with the infrastructural plans and the schematics for the infrastructure, the broadcasting equipment, and so forth. So I learned a lot during that process. This is a lawyer doing all this broadcasting stuff. I learned a lot about spurious emissions, all these big engineering words. But it's something that I love learning, so I learned a lot from there. So we then went into the exercise of being thoroughly examined by BAZ. We went to Kariba. I also learned a lot about the way our world works. So we arrogantly went to Kariba and started lobbying with the locals, the local city people, about what we wanted to do. We identified a building where we were going to rent and have the station. And at the interview, now you're interviewed at the locality where you want the license. The local chiefs came and said, "Who are you to come and set up a radio station without appeasing us?" So the conversation almost ended there because we had not consulted the local chieftains. We had to explain how we intend to broadcast to animals, because that's a game park. What do you mean? How are you going to make money? Because most of this area is a game park. And most of this area, actually, the catchment, most of it is in Zambia. So what is your plan for all those things? So I learned a lot, because it was very difficult getting that license and justifying your presence in a locality you know nothing about. So that was Kariba. So we won the license. We ended up coming up with Nyami Nyami FM, the under Kingstons. Then for Harare, that was very hotly contested, as you can imagine. The interviews were done at Jameson. It's like a public interview. Anyone can come and participate and watch and everything. So we presented our case. We wanted to angle the business then as an educational station, and the original name was Kingston's Entertainment 100.4 FM. It was KE 100.4 FM, if I remember correctly. And then thank goodness we won the license, because I think we're the only idea that was unique. The education thrust in that angle was very unique. It was going to be mostly a talk radio station where even ZimSec could come and have programs to do with the curriculum and so forth. So we won the license, and then later on we then had an arrangement where Zim Papers took beneficial shareholding of Kingston's, which is now why today it's under Zim Papers.
And we now call it Capital 100.4
Then we call it Capital 100.4 FM, and I'm happy to realize that you really have not lost the thrust, because a lot of what you listen to on Star FM is quite educational. But it's something that I'm very proud to have been a part of. Every time I pay attention and I hear that Capital is having an anniversary, I think back to that interview at Jameson and say, I did that.
You did that, girl. You did it. You did it. Let me do this for you. Let me do this for you for doing that. For you. Drum roll, ladies and gentlemen. Kituu Mansi. Well, we are talking today to Kituu Zawanda, a corporate lawyer currently serving at the Deposit Protection Corporation as its corporate secretary and legal services director. And she is in the studio today. We are being a fly on the wall in her life. We were just talking about the role that she played in broadcasting, where she transformed just a bookstore, Kingston's, into two broadcasting entities, highly regarded today. We now have Capital 100.4 FM, which they launched as KE 100.4. And we also today have Platinum FM, which they launched as Nyami Nyami FM. Yeah, did you know that?
I didn't realize that Nyami Nyami is now platinum.
It's now platinum. And they moved from Kariba. They are now based in Chinoi.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
I understand why. I remember that. I understand why.
Yes. Yeah. So, in the light of broadcasting, we also do music, right? And I want to play a song that would speak to you right now, if you have one. Something that you want to vibe to on a Sunday afternoon.
Okay, I really love. My music was influenced by my father.
Okay.
So I love jazz.
Uh-huh.
So if you could find Abdullah Ibrahim Manenberg,
All right.
I hope you can find Abdullah Ibrahim Manenberg.
Let me see if I
If
can.
not,
Uh-huh.
Rex Rabanya.
Manenberg, I found
Yes,
Manenberg.
there you go.
I found Manenberg. So listen to this one.
That's my Sunday. That's my Sunday vibe.
It's your Sunday vibe. Beautiful. Kituu Mets's Sunday vibe. It's a beautiful song that I want to play for her, and I want you to enjoy this with her. It's a song called Manenberg by Abdullah Ibrahim. Sounds like. There we go. Hello, Dawsi Herbert in Mount Pleasant. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy this together with me and Kituu. We are a fly on her walls today. Good afternoon. From way back in time, Abdullah Ibrahim Manenberg. Some real jazzy feel for an easy Sunday. How do you like that? You're listening into Star FM. We say sounding good all the time because we do. It's Sunday settings, and today sitting in for Ayati, my name is Aaron Doby, Mr. Doby, Ntin Boboko. Haikona utika kuna shinotkisa jese, shinototkao. Whoa, what a munch. This is that segment we call Fly on the Wall. It's the last segment of Sunday settings, and today we are a fly on the wall in the life of Kituu Zawanda. So you want to know who that is? Very powerful lady she is. A corporate lawyer, currently serving at the Deposit Protection Corporation as its corporate secretary and legal services director. With a career spanning 2 decades, she has honed a corporate governance and corporate law expertise by serving on numerous boards in the public and private sector. Such boards as Zimpost Properties and Budget Health Medical Aid Society. And right now, currently, she sits on the board of a listed FMCG company and is a commissioner at the Forestry Commission, adding to her notable governance assignments. Having once been appointed as the youngest CEO of a state entity in Zimbabwe at the age of 28. That was young. 28, imagine. She strives to leave a compelling legacy and example for her 3 beautiful daughters. Yeah. And I'd like to believe this is super inspirational for some people I know. I have people that I'm thinking, well, as they hear about your journey, they are finding inspiration. One of such young ladies is a young lady called Natasha Kupara. She is an avid Star FM listener.
Okay.
We call her Natty K here.
Right.
Last year, I'll tell you of some crazy things that she used to do. She used to bunk lessons at school, get a bicycle, and then cycle all the way from Epworth to wherever we would be broadcasting an outdoor broadcast from.
Wow.
She'd come to town and say, "Hi guys, I just came to say hello," and then she'd go back to school.
Oh my goodness.
But then she came out with flying colors.
Wow.
She studied. She remembered to study,
Yes.
and she's passionate about making it big in life.
Yeah.
So I believe she's finding great inspiration in your story, Kituu.
Thank you. I hope so too.
Yeah. So I'm quite enjoying this. You know, one thing that I enjoyed really is to know of your involvement in broadcasting, considering that I'm a broadcaster.
Yeah.
Yeah. So something I needed to know. Quite interesting. You laughed when I told you this is Shuffler, and you're like, you guys have a tendency of wanting to use nicknames all over this building. Do your friends also call you by a particular nickname, or when you're outside the office, are you still the Kituu with those titles and everything? To your friends, do you have a nickname?
I'm Kituu to my friends.
Yeah.
Some call me Sis K. My sisters call me Sis K.
All right.
Yes. Also my firstborn's called Keisha. So many people call me my Keisha. So it's my Keisha, Sis K, or Kituu. Just
Oh,
that. Yeah.
nice one. You should teach me how to pronounce Kituu.
Kituu. Exactly. Just
Exactly like Kituu.
but type up.
Beautiful. I want us to travel back.
Okay.
What would you say if we're going to place Kituu, the 25-year-old here, fresh out of school, just starting out, before being a CEO at 28? Talk to her right now. She's listening.
Okay. What I would say to my 28-year-old self is to just do it. Do it scared. Do it unmotivated. Do it unsure. Do it underqualified. Just do it. You know, a lot of dreams fall on the wayside because of fear. Some people will read the newspaper and see lots of job opportunities and think of who should apply other than themselves. So just do it. If I tell you that the rooms or the conversations I've had with people that I believe I had no business being in, but I did it anyway. The jobs I've held for which I had no qualifications, but I did it anyway. What if no one else applies but you, and they take you and you learn on the job? So I'd like to encourage Natasha and anybody else listening who has imposter syndrome or who fears doing things for no good reason, just do it. Absolutely, just do it. Yeah.
Message coming in from Sis K. Just do it, girl.
Yeah.
So here you are, sitting on boards, influencing policies, leading high levels. Is there one particular thing that you'd say after you've gone to the underworld you'd want to be remembered for? We know you have all those things that you've influenced in this world, but what is that one thing that you want to be remembered for?
I'd love to be remembered for my generosity. I think I'm a very generous person. I'm generous with my time, with my heart, with my effort, with my passion. So I think I would love to be remembered as a generous person. She gave of herself. I am a selfless giver, and I give even when I have nothing in terms of time, resources, energy. I give up everything if I have to. So I would love to be remembered for that.
Thank you so much.
And I think that makes me a kind person as well.
Indeed, you are. I will tell you that, speaking in all honesty, from my heart, you are a kind person.
Thank you very much.
Especially for giving me and accommodating me in your spaces, allowing me to text you on WhatsApp and everything. To me, I hold that in high regard, considering I know I might be someone to some people, but to a certain caliber of people, I still feel like I have a lot to see and get to. So when big people like you then allow me that space in your lives, I'm like, well, this is big, and thank you so much. And because you said just do it, I'm going to just do it. I have 59 seconds left. In those few seconds, give me something that you think I should hold on to for the rest of my life to say, Aaron, this is Sis K to you. We were on a Sunday Settings show. This is what I gave you.
Never let your personality overtake your calling. You have been called to be a broadcaster. There's an Aaron inside you that can work against that calling. So never let that personality out, because it might overtake your calling. There are a lot of people whose callings have been overtaken by their loose mouths, their temper, their anger. There are a lot of people in prison today because they allowed their personalities to overtake their calling. So Aaron, whatever happens, no matter how triggered you are, never let your personality overtake your calling. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Siske.
And you still owe me lunch, by the way. I will not forget.
Did you have to say that
Yeah.
live on radio?
Yeah, it's on record now. It's on Facebook.
Oh, it's okay. I'm going to work my way to give you that. We are Star FM sounding good all the time. That was Kituu Zawanda, Siske, and it was lovely to be a fly on the wall in her life. A very powerful woman who sits on high boards, and she has given us something to hold on to. Thank you, Siske. Thank you, everything.
You're welcome. You're too kind.
Thank you. We are Star FM sounding good all the time. It's 3 p.m. and it's time for the news with Sharon Bumbo.
This